Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Werkinen. In this video record, I'm going to talk about the Continental European and Asian public administration model. In our previous video record, we have seen about the Anglo-American public administration model. Under this Anglo-American public administration model, public servants are actually independent in serving what's expected from them, and the way they make a decision is a kind of pragmatic, and they if they believe that their decisions can have some positive impact on the society, then they can make it. For there is a flexibility in decision making. It is citizen first, not a state first kind of public administration model. Rather, it is a citizen first, model of public administration. And we have seen detailed characteristics of this Anglo-American public administration model, especially it promotes about decentralization and those things. Now today, we are going to see the Continental European and Asian public administration model. Somehow, this Continental European and Asian public administration model is opposite to the Anglo-American. In many criteria or in many angles, there is a difference between these two public administration models. So today we will see the differences. The difference between the Anglo-American public administration model and the Continental European public administration model. Mainly, we will see the characteristics, the origin, and those related issues to our second and third public administration model, Continental European and Continental Asian public administration model. So let me start my discussion by sharing my screen here. So this is Continental European and Asian administrative model or public administrative model. Here are some brainstorming questions. So I would like you like check your or get some idea on this question from you. So when you read the PowerPoint or when you watch this YouTube video record, please stop or pause here and try to answer this question. The question are two. The first says, why do continental European systems prioritize legality over administrative flexibility? The continental Europeans, even including the Asian, actually prioritize legality than administrative flexibility. As I told you, the Anglo-American cases, in that context, the public servants are more flexible. Administrative in this context are more flexible in making decisions. They are following pragmatic approaches. But here it's not like that. Legality is the first. Everything should be acted according to rules and regulations. Right? Formality of legality is theirs. So, why do continental European, somehow even Asian public administrative model prioritize legality than administrative flexibility? So I would like to get some idea from you about these things. The second question says, can strong state centrality coexist with democratic accountability? Now, under continental European or Asian administrative model, it is state-centric. The public servants or the public institution are a tool for the government, not for citizen, not citizen first, it is a state first. It is government first. They are face of the government. They are the tool of the government, public institutions. So state is, most of the majority of the decision actually highly influenced by the states. Even the public servants are the representative of the state, not the representative of the community. Here, these things actually affect accountability. You see, it somehow negatively influence accountability, especially democratic accountability. So, can strong state centrality coexist with democratic accountability? So, I would like to get an idea from you. As I told you, this is a kind of brainstorming question. It's not about whether you are right or wrong. What is it we need from you on this specific question is pause here, stop here, and think what type of idea you have on this question. We would like to get or to see from your side. So this is a brainstorming question. Make sure that you actually try to get answer or you try to give some kind of response for this, and then after you read or watch this video, come back and try to see your answer, judge yourself. So the continental European administrative models. The continental European administrative model is, of course, it is state-centric governance. That means the state is the center. It is state is actually the public institutions are the representative of states. They are the representative of states. Most of the issue actually reflects the idea of the state. State-centric governance means state-first governance, not citizen-first governance. Not citizen-first governance. It is state-centric governance, state-first governance. So the public administration is an expression of state authority. The public institution and the public servants are actually representative of state. They are state by themselves. You see, they have authority for that matter. They represent the authority of the state. They are also stable, continuity and sovereignty. They are sovereignty and continuity are some of the characteristics of the European, continental European administrative model. It is very stable and they are also very sovereign, right? They are representative of the state. That is what makes it. They are very powerful, right? They are also very powerful in a sense, because they are representing the state or they are acting what the state, the central government told them. There is no way that they go from that. They need to act as it is stated. You see, that's why I say it's very strong. They need to implement what they got. There is no way that they reshuffle it or they change it or there is no flexibility over there. So the core feature of the continental European public administration model is that legal formalism. Legality, right? Legalities. Hierarchical structures. There is a top-down approaches. What the state says. The state actually control even the local governance. So there is hierarchies. There is no decentralization here. Even if there is decentralization, it is a kind of false decentralization. States still control even the lower hierarchy of the states and the disciplined bureaucracies. They follow the rules, right? They need to be disciplined, right? That's also there. Historical foundation, of course, it has historical foundation. It evolved under the absolute monarchies. They are actually those that based on that, those public institutions and the public servants actually they empower the monarchies. Absolute monarchy. They are representative of that. There's not that much democrats. There is absolute monarchy. And the public servant, the idea of the public institution and the public administration emerged from that. They are a mirror of that things. Of course, they based on the Roman laws. There is a written laws. It is legal formalism. Legality is very strong over there. Legality is very strong. There is no flexibility. Legalities. There is a written laws and the public servant should act and implement and do their jobs according to that laws. You see? So there is no flexibility. So nation-state formations. Of course, this continental European administrative model emerged from this basis. Of course, many countries build a nations. Of course, in European countries, it's during the earlier times, it's a long time ago, but that thing also influenced the establishment of public administrations, nation formation, state formation. In order to have country, That is country formation. Nation formation or state formation is a country formation. In order to have a country, very organized country, right, they need to have a central government. That central government has the representative even to the local levels. And that local public servant or public institution are representative of the central government. And these three things are the foundation for the establishment of or for the development of continental European administrative models. Country example, many European countries, you can list them out. Like for example, in France, Germany are some of the example of the state or countries that are actually following continental European public administrative models. In France, for example, centralized administration. You see, the public institution in France is centralized administration. You see, it's not decentralized. It is top down. It is top. Everything come from the top. Equality before the law. Legal formalism. You see, equality before the laws. And they have also these things. Equal national de-administration is a French word. I am not sure. Equal nationale de-administration. This is a school that's found in France. It is public administration school, and mostly elites joined there. The top decision maker joined that public institution and get educated. Therefore, this continental European public administrative model supported by school established by them, like for example, public administration school in France. Even in Germany, the Prussian tradition emphasized on discipline, expertise, and legal, rational bureaucracies. So this is the characteristics of public administration in Germany. So the purpose of this continental European administrative model is, of course, enforcing uniformity, legitimacy, and continuity in public government. This is the purpose of the public institutions in continental European administrative models. Uniformity. The rule comes from the center and should be implemented throughout the country in the same ways, even strongly. Because, by the way, I think when we implement the law, if especially the way the effectiveness of the policy implementation in the decentralized country and centralized country, they are different. In centralized country, you see, the policy comes from the top, and its instance of implementation is very strong. In decentralized country, first of all, the policy comes from the bottom. They can develop their own policy. Even the way, it's the status of effectiveness of implementation of the policy in the countries that follow decentralized governance is not that much strong. Now, in terms of strong, in terms of effectiveness, that I am because in centralized governance, the lower authority are responsible for the top, and there is strong chain of command, and this strong chain of command, of course, facilitates effective policy implementation most of the time. So uniformity, legalism, legitimacy, legalism, legitimacy, and continuity. Public institution is also very strong in this country. In continental European administrative model, even if the leader is changed, then the public institution will continue. It's very stable. It's very stable. When we go to the Asian administrative model, as you see on this picture, the Asian administrative, this is confusion, right? This is a confusion ethics, and the tradition of the Asian administrative model highly based on the Confucian ethics. This Confucian ethics promote discipline, respect for the authority, responsiveness, and those things. And the public administration and the public servant in the Asian country highly follow the Confucian principle. They are much, this thing is even their simple, right? They are much responsible, they are much disciplined, and they are acting according to that ethics. right? That ethics. So the Asian administrative model highly influenced by the Confucian ethics and imperial governance. There is a dynasty, there is an emperor, and they are following what that emperor and that dynasty, a group of people are elites are proposing to implement. And one interesting thing is that under Asian administrative model that I really like or appreciate is the meritocracies. Actually, you get jobs based on your performance. No family connection, no corruption or those things. You get the position if and only if you are qualified for that. That is meritocracies. So merit-based system. So the imperial examination in China and Korea institutionalized skill recruitment century even before Europeans. Even before the European country practice merit-based recruitment, those countries in Asia actually institutionalized it. Even especially China and Korea are well known on these things. Merit-based recruitment and merit-based hiring of public servants. That is one of the characteristics of the Asian administrative models. Of course, because most Asian countries are actually colonized by the Western world or by Western countries, and those cultures influence the public administrations of these Asian countries. The colonization, there is legacy of colonization. There is a legacy of colonization in the Asian countries as we have in African countries, in many African countries, except two countries. I hope you know those two countries that has no influence of colonialism. I hope. So, Western bureaucratic structure blended with indigenous governance practice in Asian administrative model. Therefore, there is these things, colonization legacies, colonial legacy are there. So the post-independence adaptation in Asian administrative model or in Asian public institution is that actually they used the system for nation building, administrative stability, and development. And the development. So one of even if you see in Asian country there are many countries, of course they have their own norms, values, traditions. More or less there is some differences in the Asians in the model that they are using in their public institutions, but they have the following common characteristics: hierarchical. Most of the Asian countries public institutions are hierarchical. That means they are highly influenced by what the dynasties and the emperors, and they are following centralized approaches. So they are top-down approach. Every rules, regulations, and policies come from the top. You see, top-down approach they are following. So their hierarchies specifically top-down, not bottom-up, not other ways. It is top-down, and therefore it is highly centralized. And the other characteristics of public institution or these models, Asian administrative model, their common, the commonalities or similar characteristics of the Asian administrative model is that loyalties. They promote loyalties. The reason is because they are following Confucian ethics. The Confucian ethics promotes one, good ethics, right? Loyalty to the authorities, discipline, responsibility, and responsiveness, and those things. You can Google out the characters, the ethics, list of ethics that are promoted by the Confucian ethics. All those things. These things promote loyalty, whatever. Loyalty for the authorities. You need to be loyal for your governments. Respect for authorities. This is the characteristics of the confusion. This is happening due to the fact that they are following the confusion theories, continuity across political regions, and their public administration is also very stable. As a country, even The Asian country are more or less they are, especially Eastern Asian countries, China, South Korea, Singapore, and those countries, they are very stable. Most Asian countries are very stable, especially those following the Confucian ethics. And now the other characteristics of these models is legalistic administrative culture. Legalistic, especially in the continental European and Asian public administration model. Legalistic. Let us see the legalistic administrative culture. Legality. Of course, in both Continental European and Asian public administration model, legality is there. Even if, especially it is very strong in European continental European public administration model. Legality is very strong in continental European public administration model, but even in Asian public administrative model, legality, rules, regulations, norms, those things, especially formal rules and regulation is very strong, but it is much strong in continental European public administration model. So the core principle is that administration guided by, especially in European, continental European public administration model, administration guided by the comprehensive legal codes. So legalistic orientation. The public servants are legalistic. That means they are following the rules. Humanity is not that much has not that much places. Humanity. You need to follow the rules. They are top down. They are following the top down approaches, and the rules and the regulation come from the top, and they need to act. They need to implement it. The public servants are what? The representative of the government. They are the representative of the government. They are the government by themselves, for that matter. They are loyal for the center. If they are not loyal, they will be removed from there. You see, for they don't have any freedom, they don't have any flexibility, they need to act as it is stated in the paper, in the law. So, legalistic orientation. There is a codified laws, there is a written laws, and they need to follow that written laws. Civil servants are the guardian of legality. They are the bodyguard. They are the one who care or look after those laws. Okay? They need to implement it as stated. Judicial oversight is also there. In addition to this, they are the loyal for the law. The public servants are loyal, or they are the guardian of the legalities. And there is also another institution that, of course, check whether they are following the rule as it is stated or not. For a specialized administrative court, there is an administrative court. It is specialized. It's not the common one. Of course, state has three structures, right? Legislative, executive, and judicial. And this one is specialized administrative court are there. And it ensures the procedural fairness and rule compliances. There is someone who oversees whether the public servants are actually implementing the law as it is stated. There is no way that if they are not, if they are not implementing as stated in the laws, there is someone who follows them. There is someone who monitors them, who oversees them, who checks them, right? So if they are not implementing as is stated in the policy, so they need to be very predictable. They need, you can see over here, discretion, that is freedom of making a decision. There is no freedom of making a decision. It is limited. Rather, there is predictability and equality before the law. You see, if you know the laws, then you know what type of response that you will get. That means they are very predictable. They are very, you know if you know the rules, then you know whether you get the answer per the rule or not. So predictability and equality before the laws. Equality before the law. You see? And there is a special courts that actually specialized in terms of checking whether the public servant, the public, their institutions or the public servant, the bureaucrats are actually acting according to the laws or not. So this thing, predictability and equality before the law, prioritized over efficiency and innovation even. You see, over efficiency and innovation, predictability and equality before the law, prioritized in continental European public administrations. So legality is very strong. The public servants are legal oriented, legalistic orientations. The public servant. They are guided by comprehensive legals. You see, there is a written laws and they are acting according to that written laws. There is no way that they are acting against the laws because even there is someone who watches them. So legality is very strong. The rule of laws are very strong in the European continental, public administration model. When we go to Asian cases, the Asian, public administration model, there is somehow variation. There is little variation. For example, in South Korea and in Japan, we have formal rules and informal rules. They are using both formal rules and informal rules in their public institution. For example, Confucian theory. They are highly following the Confucian ethics, right? The public institution and the public administrative model in the Asian country, highly influenced by Confucian ethics. Confucian ethics. That but somehow that thing is not formal, isn't it? So both formal rules and informal rules practiced in Asia, in the continental Asian public administrations. Both of them. The way they make decision is also consensus-based practice of decision making. Consensus-based. That is in Japan and in South Korea. Whereas in China, increasing legal emphasis. They are, of course, legality is very strong even in China, but the problem, but bureaucracy closely tied to the political authority. The bureaucrat and that public institution, the system itself, highly related with political authority. That means they are what? Slave of political authorities, the government. They are a face and a tools of the political authority. Still, they are loyal. You see, they accept what is said from them. They cannot act, there's no freedom of action. It is government action. They are acting what the government say. These things enhance legitimacies and consistencies, the legality in both continents or in both model, promotes legitimacies. Government is legitimate, public institutions are also legitimate. For that matter, in those countries, public servants are highly respected. Public servants are highly respected. Because, for example, in the Asian country, they are like they actually hired because of what? Their talent, because of their qualification. That one thing, they get respect from the community because they are qualified. Or the other thing, they have a backup. The laws support them. They, for that matter, they are a representative of the central government. Down there, at lower public, lower administrative level, they are representative of the central government. They are loyal for the central government, right? So legitimacy and consistency is one of the benefit of legalistic administrative culture of this model, but reduce administrative flexibility. The actual rule is rule, structure is structure, work is work, like that. And there is no flexibility to make a decision. Right? If the law don't allow, you can't change the law. Another characteristics of these two model of public administration is in terms of administrative law and state centralities. Administrative laws and state centralities. Especially, in European countries, state-centric governance. The European, the continental European public administrative model is state-centric governance. That means the state is at the center. Everything is for the state. The state is the one who, of course, deliver the service. That means first there is no difference between administration and the state. They are highly mixed. One, state-centric governance means the state is at the center. State first, not citizen first. State first. So of course both public administration, the continental European public administration as well as the Asian public administration are state-centric governance. That means state is at the center. Governance is at the center. Administration embodies state authority and continuities. Administration consists state authorities. That means even the state is the one who implements the public service. You see, the public service. The public servant is also a state representative. Therefore, a state first, not citizen first. The king in this case is the state, not the citizen. Your customer is the king. We commonly say that customer is the king, not the customer is the king here. The state is the king. It is state-centric, state first. What the state says, what the government says, what the authority says, gets acceptance, not what the people say, not what the public servants say. For example, in the continental European public administration model, we have strong ministries, hierarchical structure, uniform procedure, and these things represent state-centric governance. It is a reflection of state-centric governance. Strong ministries, they are the state by themselves. Hierarchical structure, they are following the top-down approach. You see, all rules, regulations, and policy come from the top. Right? All those things come from the top. It is hierarchical structure. It is top-down structure. Uniform procedure. It is hierarchical. It is top-down, and the way the policy implemented throughout the structure of the governance or that state or that country is the same. And all these things promote state-centric governance or reflect as continental European public administration model is actually state-centric governance. Decentralization remains administrative. This means even if there is a decentralization, still that decentralization highly influenced by the central government. What decentralized is administrative. Even if the structure is there, down there, even if we have local governance, that local governance are loyal for the central governance. And they are doing what the central government told them to do. There is no way that they are doing something which is good for the people at the local level. Decentralization is only for just simple. There is no decentralization. Even if there is a decentralization, the decentralization is even still high influence from the central government in the continental European public administration model. What about in East Asia? More probably the same. The same. Bureaucracy. Now we have in Asian countries, they are following the top-down approach. They are loyal for their government. The Confucian ethics significantly influence them, and these things actually positively affect the way the policies, rules, and the regulations implemented. And that thing positively contributes for economic development of the nation. Especially, we can take country like China, country like South Africa, country like Singapore, and Thailand, and those things. So East Asian bureaucracy drive economic development. This system, this state-centric governance, of course, drive economic development. Policy implementation is well coordinated. Long-term strategy is also well implemented. So civil servant seen as a state representative rather than neutral managers in both continental European and Asian public administrative model. Civil servants, government worker are seen as state representative, not independent manager of a given public institution. So these things end up with some kind of challenge, like strong centrality can limit accountability and citizen participation. You see, if we follow strong, these things, centralities, state centralities, and if that top-down approach, if we follow this strong top-down approach, and this thing end up with kind of problem like accountability related problem, and citizens will not also participate in governance, and it limits accountability and citizen participation. And this thing in the long run has its own implication on economic development or citizen rights or governance and good governance and those things. Even it has significant implication on good governance. So this is all on our specific subtopic, that is Continental European and Asian Public Administration Model. We will have this class debate in our classes, and I hope this video recap will help you to understand these two models, Continental European and Asian Public Administration Model. I also believe that at this time, after you watch this video recap, you can compare and contrast those three public administration model: Anglo-American public administrative model, Continental European public administrative model, and Asian public administrative model. In the next video recap, I will talk about Continental African public administration model, and I will see the characteristics, nature, and the foundation for Continental African public administration model in the next video recap. Thank you very much for watching this video. Have a nice day.